Hi, I'm John Fazio with NBC Basketball Camps, and I am thrilled to introduce our guest for today. Jessie Loera is originally from Moses Lake, Washington. Jessie wound up at Gonzaga University and has played there for the last 4 years. She's been their starting point guard the last few years. She had an incredibly successful high school basketball career, one of the top players in the state of Washington growing up. I got to first meet her when she came to NBC basketball camps around 2008, 2009. We were fortunate enough to have her work at our camps as well the last couple of years. And Jessie, we're just thrilled to have you here. Just before I ask you a few questions, I did want to just hit on a few of the highlights of your bio. You led the team in assists with 150 this season for Gonzaga, which puts you fourth all-time in assists for Gonzaga women's basketball. Very cool. All WCC honorable mention. I know that you guys were on your way to your third straight NCAA tournament until this whole COVID fiasco cut your season short. But obviously, congratulations on a great career there. And thanks for taking some time to be with us today here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Tell us a little bit about your basketball journey, when you started playing and how you eventually wound up at Gonzaga.
Yeah, so I grew up in a basketball family. My mom played at the University of Oregon. My dad played a lot also growing up, and my two older siblings, they're 5 years older than I am, 5, 6 years. And so I grew up watching them. We'd go to their tournaments, we'd go to their camps. So I was always around basketball since I was born. So my two older siblings were like my inspiration, like seeing them play, seeing what they were doing just brought out like that little sister in me of wanting to do what they were doing. And so I started out with NBC Camp as one of my top like things to look forward to in the summer because I loved basketball and I got to meet new people and work with so many wonderful coaches. And I played through high school, had such a great career there on varsity and went to the state tournament. And then I played for a club team here out of Spokane, the Spokane Stars, and had a great, that was such a great experience with that club. And I was getting looked at by a number of coaches when it came to recruiting, and Gonzaga was just a great fit for me. It wasn't just close to home, but it felt like home. I loved the community. I loved the atmosphere and just the people who were part of Gonzaga athletics. They're great, and I think I made the right decision for me. And the past 4 years have just been the best 4 years I've ever had playing basketball. And so just basketball has always just been part of my life since I was born.
That's great. Yeah, and then so now that college is done, what comes next?
So I recently signed with an agent. I wanted to continue my career and play overseas professionally. And so after we signed with her, we worked with getting my information put out there, and a video was made by our video director. And so I'm just kind of waiting to hear back from them. Obviously right now with how things are going with the COVID-19, it's a little hard to know what's going to happen next with overseas, but I'm looking forward to hearing back from teams and seeing where I go next.
That's awesome. Good luck with that. That's great.
Thank you.
What are some things that you enjoy outside of basketball? Obviously, you play at a really high level that demands a ton of your time and energy. Are you able to have a life outside of basketball?
Oh, of course. I spend a lot of time with my family, whether that's outside on the lake or walks or hikes or just kind of at home, spending time with them. And obviously, Moses Lake is not that far away from Spokane, but when you're playing basketball and you're going to school, like having two full-time jobs, and so you don't get to go home that often. And so when I do get to have that free time of going home, I like to spend it with my family. And so, but if I don't have the time to go home up here, I kind of just like to sit on the couch with my dog and watch a show or two and just to relax, to get my body ready for what's going to happen with practice the next day, or
Sure.
what's going to happen with the next season, or but yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I'm thinking about our middle school, high school players that maybe would view this interview. And you were there not so long ago, and I think about what can you tell them about what kind of work it takes to get to the level that you got? What should they be doing with their time right now? What would you say to them?
Well, growing up, my mom and dad always said that it only takes a small time out of your day to work out or to go to the gym and shoot or to get some ball handling in. And so that was what our goal was every day, is just taking that, even if it was only 10 minutes or an hour, like using that time to get better. And so, growing up, every day we were in the gym after school shooting. I was fortunate enough to have a mom who was a PE teacher, and so I was able to have access to a gym, but when I couldn't, I was outside in the backyard with our hoop or at a park. And so it doesn't take long to do something each day to get myself better. And so I would either one day be focused on my shooting or ball handling or one-on-one moves, and I did a lot of cone work, especially when I was by myself. I would have the chair be my defender or have cones set up to do ball handling through and then explode to the basket. But each day I took the time to get better. And I brought my sister with me to the gym to rebound, my little sister or my older sister. When my siblings would go to the gym or want to work out, I would go do it with them, even though I knew they were probably much bigger than I was, but I took that as a way to get better. And so, and also growing up, I played on teams who were older than me. I played on teams older than like my grade.
Yeah.
And so I used that as a motivation to get better too, because obviously I wasn't the biggest player on the court. So I had to do something that I could contribute to the team or what I could do to get better to help my team. And so I just took a lot of work, and I just had to have the mentality every day of what am I going to do today to get better. And if that's just for 10 minutes of ball handling or taking 20 minutes to work on my shot or just getting some agility in on the court, that's all it took. And so then I have the rest of my day. But I wanted to make sure I got that work in each day to get myself better to where I want to become the player I wanted to be and reach my goals.
Yeah, and this is a unique time where most people don't necessarily have a coach checking up on them every day or having a team to go meet up with or even a partner to go meet up with. So how does somebody get that motivation, that commitment to like, hey, I need to use this time well and not just veg out for the next 2 months? What would you say about like how to best use this time at home?
I mean, I know there's a lot of things not open to us, the gym especially, or a basketball hoop, but you can always just go in the driveway or find some sort of street or something to do some ball handling, and you don't always need a gym or a hoop to get better at basketball. You can shoot against the wall or even just kind of have someone play defense on you if you have, and just dribble as if you're in a game. But I know with a lot of people, with some players, I'm sure it's hard to get motivated. And I don't know if you've been watching, but like the new documentary of Michael Jordan is out, or there's a lot of 30 for 30s. And I know that's what I've been watching to keep myself motivated, because it reminds me of, okay, that's what I want to, I want to reach those same goals and I want to get better each day. And I think just kind of keeping that mentality of there's always something we can do to get better. We just have to do it. And so whether that's just being in the driveway, like I said, doing ball handling or working on my form shot in the house or outside.
Yeah.
But just kind of keeping that keeping that routine and structure to the game. And I think that's just what's important, is just kind of finding those ways of getting better.
I think a lot of players are going to find out a lot about themselves during this time. And if they're never going to go out to the driveway or go out to the garage with the ball, I think that's a bit of a message about where their passion is, and where their commitment level is. Hey, I like the idea of playing on my team, but I don't know if I really want to do it if I'm by myself, and I think you find out where you're at.
Yeah, and it takes commitment. I mean, it doesn't have to be this huge goal right off the bat. It takes steps to reach that goal. And it's just making those small commitments to get to where you want to be. Like, to me, I wanted to play basketball in college, so I knew there was little goals I had to set to reach in order to reach the end goal. And so I just had to stay committed to that and what I wanted. And so when I did that and I was able to do what I needed to do and accomplish all these goals that I set for myself, I was able to accomplish what I wanted to do, which was play.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of keeping that motivation and figuring out who you are as a person and a basketball player.
Yeah, one of the things we've started up this month is are these small group teams that meet online, and I think accountability is huge. You were telling me before we got started that, you know, the strength coach sends you a workout. Here's your workout, and so it's not like you can just ignore that, right? You've got the accountability of going back to, okay, thanks, I got to get this done, and you know this. I think also like finding, whether it was your siblings or a teammate or somebody, mom or dad, that are checking in with you about your goals and that you have to report to, because if nobody's ever asking, it can be difficult to get motivated.
Yeah, for sure. And I know one thing that helped me was my parents and my older siblings. And even my younger sister, because she was always like, did you go to the gym yet? Did you do this yet? I'm like, I'm going right now. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, family can just be that person who will hold you accountable for it and just help you keep going on your journey to get to where you want to get to.
That's awesome. Yeah. I was able to attend your senior night game, and it's kind of cool how they will allow the seniors to come onto the court. You had a ton of family there to support you, but what really blew me away was when you got a chance to grab the microphone and all of the different people that you thanked for being a part of your journey. I was really impressed with that, and I think it speaks a lot to your character and the family that you grew up in. But everything from just every teacher to, you know, obviously all the coaches and support and the fans. But I think that says a lot about you. Where did you get that perspective growing up?
I think it's just appreciating everything that you have and not taking anything for granted. And I grew up with a family who was always so thankful for everything that was given to us and what was offered. And if it was someone who wanted to train us and it was just to give us advice, like, we wanted to take it in. We wanted to soak in as much knowledge as we could about the game and about life. Because basketball isn't just about playing, it develops who you are as a person. And so I've learned so much through not just basketball, but any sport, of who I am as a person. And I've learned like how to be a leader, or who I was, or or what life is about, and things like that. Because you learn a lot of life lessons through the game or through any other sport, I'm sure. And you apply that to everything else. And so it's just just appreciating everything that is given, like I said, and just being able to take it and use it and to make yourself better as a player and as a person in life.
When I was kind of reading up on your bio, like you also, it sounded like you were a pretty successful soccer player. So obviously you weren't just basketball. I think a lot of players, I think if they're, 7th, 8th grade, they don't just choose basketball, then they're not going to have a chance. Do you feel like there's value in playing multiple sports?
I found it very valuable because basketball, there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot that builds up to being the player you want to be. And for me, soccer really helped me with agility and conditioning and speed. And while like swimming helped me with cardio sometimes, just with staying in shape. And I think you develop as an athlete playing so many other sports. And I didn't decide to just focus on basketball until probably my junior year of high school, senior year. But I played soccer, I did swimming and stuff. And like I knew I wasn't the best player, but that's what kept me motivated was to work even harder, to do the best that I can. And it kept me motivated in those other sports. And then when I just focused on basketball, it kind of carried over into that to keep me going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it had a lot, playing other sports really did help me become the player and athlete that I am today.
Yeah. And you mentioned just the different character and life skills that you learned through your basketball career. I mean, when you think about now, obviously your career isn't necessarily over. You may be playing overseas professionally soon, we hope. But later on, you know, as you kind of move on into a different career, when you think about your time playing competitive sports and on, you know, really high level teams, what are some of the takeaways that you'll have as far as how sports, how basketball, how coaches that you played for and with defined who you are?
I think just from all the coaches I've had in the past were so positive with me, and I've looked up to them and who they were as not just as a coach but as a person. And I know through NBC Camps I've had a lot of wonderful coaches, and there was always that program that focused on life also, and how the game and life go together. And but I I just know that what was given to me, I want to be able to give back, and I want to be able to become a leader that I've seen other people become. And I know with having great leaders, people look up to you, and they watch what you do, and being that person who is that anyone can look up to or help, or look to you for help, or see you as someone that they want to one day become is very crucial. And so I think just taking all what I've learned and being positive and being that leader that I want everyone else to look up to is what kind of keeps me motivated. And then like just with life of what I'm going to be doing later, I want to be able to be someone can come to and talk to, and be able to ask questions and get answers to their questions. And so
Tell us what career path you're pursuing.
So I got my degree in special education, and I'm getting my certification for it. So I just wanted to be able to work with kids still. And I went into the education department not knowing what specifically I wanted to do. And when I decided to do special ed, I was able to work with students that I knew I could impact and help with, and I could also work with students who weren't in my class. And so but I think I just wanted to work with kids and do something for them, like how a teacher has done for me growing up. And I'm just really excited to pursue that career. Awesome. And someday hopefully be able to inspire kids and help them out in their journey.
I will wrap up with a spotlight of you. I think having come across the paths of a lot of high-level athletes that played in high-level programs, I think it can be, I mean, your whole family was successful at basketball, right? Like you had multiple Division I level athletes in your family. It would be really easy to feel like you are elevated above others, or that you have earned some sort of right that's maybe different than this person over here, that person over there. But you have always just composed yourself with incredible humility and joy. And like I said, having watched you on senior night and watching you give credit to so many other people, you obviously deserve a lot yourself, but your personality is one to really honor those around you, whether it's your coaches or teammates or players or family, mom and dad, the fans in the stands. I mean, you just do a great job of that. So I want to commend you and spotlight you for that. I also know that you and I talked previously that you're going to maybe hop on soon and help maybe do some ball handling workouts that some of our campers can jump in on and participate right along with you, so you can stay in shape, so you can get ready for going to play overseas. And I'm sure many of these young players would love the opportunity to participate with you. So I will follow up with you and get that set up soon, so we can get on board with some Zoom workouts with Coach Jessie. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be with us today and for sharing some of your experience and wisdom with our campers and families that are involved. Fortunately, too, we're able to make these on demand, so we'll post this when it's ready to go. So if it was missed by anybody, they'll get a chance to just click on the link and go in and watch it too. So thank you again. You are a superstar. You represent Gonzaga so well. You represent your family so well. On behalf of NBC Camp, you've represented us super well. So keep up the great work. Good luck with going overseas to play. And you are awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.